Here we go. My friends, welcome to the latest edition. Here's what we know: we're going once around the country and talking to a lot of these artists, the new artists who are working their way up. And I first saw this guy because I deep dive on music all the time. I deep dive on things, and titles always catch my attention. And all of a sudden, I saw "This Bar Sucks," and I'm like, "All right, well, that's caught my attention. Let's find out about Chaz Collins." Chaz, how the heck are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm actually excited that video is going to be coming out soon. The music video for that you're going to love.
Well, I get a kick out of it, and you and I, because you don't walk into my studio without me knowing something about you, and I love that you're from Belle Chase, Louisiana. I was telling you before we got on there, I used to work in Lake Charles, as we fondly called it, Swamp Chuck.
That's pretty dang cool. I haven't heard that one. That's a new one.
It's fascinating seeing your journey. First of all, you are tall. You're on the Trace Adkins line, and I tell you what, we're finding more and more tall singers now. Right? When for the longest time, everybody was Kenny Chesney and Tim McGraw and shorter, but we're starting to get the tall kids. We're getting the Brett Youngs and the Chris Youngs, and now the Chase Collins, who are coming in and bringing up the basketball team.
You got it close. You said Chase. It's Chaz.
It's Chaz. I keep getting it wrong. Because you look at CHAS, right? It's Chaz Collins. And is that short? Because, again, Louisiana, because you got to say it right. I remember my first day on the air, they said, hey, we're going to be broadcasting. And I got a card that said, we're going to be broadcasting at Richard 66. And I said, hey, join Ugly Jerry this afternoon at Richard 66. Phone line blows up and it's like, it's Rashad, you idiot.
That's funny right there.
So the fact that I mispronounced your name, whenever I mispronounce your name, Chaz, it's right there. So you actually were going to school. You were actually training to be a plumber, right?
That is correct.
And you decided you went and you recorded something in Nashville, and then you started doing the karaoke circuit. And what changed?
I was actually doing shows, MCing my buddy's karaoke show, and I had went to Nashville for a couple of days just to make a quick CD and brought it back to New Orleans, and I was selling the CDs at karaoke shows. I was building a fan base singing karaoke when it came out, and I was like, man, I've got something here. I've got to get a band together. As people, I guess I'm an entertainer. Better than I thought it was. And so then I got the band, and rest is history.
It is. And listen, I don't say this lightly, and I don't say it in any mean way, but you've been out there working on your craft for a while now.
Oh yeah. I've been doing this now almost 25, we're right at 25 years. Of touring the country and recording music and trying to just entertain the masses, as they say.
That's the best thing about country music today is that, I've been doing this a long time. And if you had not hit by the time you were 26, 28 at the end, you had no chance. Now, Chris Stapleton doesn't hit till he's in his 30s. Neither does Jelly Roll. Neither does Lainey Wilson. There's no time limit anymore. You can have the LeAnn Rimes and the Taylor Swifts come out at 14 and 15, but the other spectrum has opened up for guys and girls like you.
Yeah, and it's been great, man. It's refreshing because as I've gotten older, I'm like, man, I'm thinking the same thing you were just saying. That threshold, you're just like, I'm not that super young buck anymore. Am I going to get my chance? And the crazy thing is that just in the last 4 or 5 years, my career has skyrocketed, and that was after leaving Nashville. I went to Nashville, I built it. I got some credits, and then I left to go to a place where I was a bigger fish in a smaller pond.
Well, it's cool and it's wonderful that you're building this up. And there's something, and I've said this before. I know you're a man of faith. I am too. And I literally was telling this to Lainey Wilson before she went up on stage at a sold out show. And I said, "Isn't it amazing how God had the right time? That you may not have been ready for this when you were 20, 21 years old, but he got you right at the right place at the right time. Where now, and this is my theory why people love Jelly Roll and Lainey Wilson so much, because they look like they're enjoying it. And when you see, and again, you don't have to comment on Zach Bryan, but I worry about the Zach Bryans who had it come at them so quick, so fast, and they don't know how to handle it. But you, just like them, are at a stage in your life that you get to start having fun with this now.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I'm just now in the last 4 or 5 years reaping the benefits of 25 years of doing this. You know, when I was touring full time nationally, um, when I was doing more of that for those 17 years, it was paycheck to paycheck. It was everything you'd spend every penny to get to the next gig, you know, just enough to pay your bills. And then if you had a breakdown, you better hope a fan's going to come help you, or you get some good tips or something to carry you through. And now, you know, we're finally getting to reap the benefits of all the hard work.
Well, I say this because I've been doing this a long time, so I drop a lot of names because I think it's fun. But I remember standing out in the parking lot with this young guy who was trying to make it, and we had literally got on the stage and said, "Here's this new guy. Come out here. You can meet him. He'll sign an autograph, and we think he's going to be something." And I walked outside, and I walked up to him as I walked to my car, and I said, "Hey, you ever heard of David Allen Coe?" And he goes, "Yes, sir, I have." I said, truest words he ever said was, "If you're big star bound, let me warn you, it's a long, hard ride. And Eric Church, I wish you the best."
Yeah, that's pretty dang crazy, man. We actually do that song in our show. Uh, but it is exactly that. It is a long, hard ride. A lot of people just see the performance and they go, "Oh man, must be fun. You're the rock star, and you get you get treated like a rock star. You get free food. You know, all the girls are throwing themselves at you." And it's like that's that part you see on stage from the first note of that first song to the last note of the last song. That is the fun. Everything outside of that, which is three-quarters of the time that you're in the business, is not fun. You know, setting up, breaking down, you know, traveling with on little sleep. You know, imagine waking up in the morning and you only had a couple hours of sleep, and someone comes right at you. You know, a fan comes right at you and just as they say, Gatling guns you with you know their life story and their family, and can you sign this? And it's like, I appreciate the fans, but sometimes, you know, you're having to push through because you're just exhausted. You're at your end, and every fan deserves to have you at 100%. So you have to push through and go, you know, it's not about me, it's about them. And so that's the hard part. It's not the fans that's hard. It's keeping going and sustaining to be at 10 all the time. That's the hard part.
And yes, anytime. That's what we always said. I've said the same thing. I always told the stations, listen, I do the morning show for free. You pay me for everything that goes into it, right? For getting up and having to get all of that stuff. And all the things that you don't. I mean, the shows where the only person's listening is the bartender. And I've told people before, until you learn how to win the bartender over, that's where you learn how to do a show, and having all the stuff that nobody thinks about. Where how this club guy said he'd pay you $2,000, and then you get off the show and he goes, "Here's 400. I'm sorry, that's all we have."
I've been very fortunate to not have that happen um, in that situation. However, I
You're
have played
six
a
six.
show,
That helps.
and it was actually opening for. That's true. Yeah, I guess that could help. But there was the one time we opened for David Ball and Bucky Covington, and it was fairly new in my career. So we had some fans up there in Wisconsin, but we didn't have the notoriety to sell this place out or even halfway sell it out, and really contribute to Bucky Covington and David Ball at the time. And the owner gave me 50% in cash and said, "I'm writing you a check for the other 50%, but you need to wait till Monday to cash it." And I was like, "Oh, this ain't gonna be good." And I just had that feeling. And so when I got to the next show, the next state, and I went to cash a check, it bounced. And so, and I haven't been paid for it all these years. What I think is hilarious is he actually had the nerve to go and try to friend me on Facebook. And I'm like, "Are you serious right now?" Like, really? Oh, man.
It is. I've heard so many horror
Yeah.
stories, and I tell you who it's really bad for: comedians. Comedians get shorted all the time, but bands have done that, and I guess it's not as bad as it
Yeah.
used to be. But you've got some exciting things that is heading up. You're looking at doing some stuff with like a major sports league. Is that right? At Reed Animal Hospital, they treat your pet as if it was their own. Now, I'm a very satisfied customer. I can tell you they mean that. It's not a chain. It truly is about helping you and your pet enjoy life together. Dr. David Reed and his entire staff take the time to get to know you and your pet. I can tell you what I like. He's helped me better understand what my dog Luna needs and how I can take care of her more efficiently and kindly. Find them online at reedanimalhospital.com. 2 locations, Saratoga and Campbell. Little secret from me to you, Dr. Reed actually gives you his cell number so he can answer your questions and concerns. They really are committed to you and your pet. reedanimalhospital.com. Let's talk about the inevitable. End of life. Once I leave this earth, I can't do anything for my loved ones, but I've just learned by pre-planning a funeral or cemetery in advance takes the guesswork out when death occurs suddenly and your mind is clouded with grief. Dignity Memorial can help. My friend Tina Skurla pre-plans funeral and cemetery arrangements so loved ones don't have to. They're North America's largest provider of funeral, cremation, and cemetery services. They're dedicated to getting every detail right, and they do that by listening to you. I know it's a hard subject, but I also know we all see the sense and value of what Dignity Memorial does. Use the promo code Gary to get 25% off at Willow Glen Funeral Home. Reach out to my friend Tina Skurla today. She's committed to helping families not go through the tragedy of loss alone. Click on the link, use the promo code Gary, or email her at dmppa.tinaskurla.com, or call 408-398-7050.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How you heard about that? We didn't post about it, but I have been saying on some interviews, we're in talks with the NBA to try to do some performances at the halftime shows, specifically with the Atlanta Hawks, and we're kind of in talks with them trying to make that work for next season. We were trying to do it this season, and it was just too much in the middle of the season. These things, the logistics of everything has to be planned out months in advance, and so we'll be we'll be revisiting that in August, and hopefully we can make that happen. We would love to be a part of the NBA, and then they would be pushing our song "No Place I'd Rather Be," which is our patriotic song, uh, and it did really well for us too. That video was #1 on Taste of Country for 2 weeks back in July. It's really cool.
That's very exciting. And once you get in that realm, once you get into that circle, then it just kind of repeats itself. So you're starting with the Hawks, but who knows? One day you could end up out here doing one for the Warriors. That'd be kind of awesome.
Heck yeah, man. We would love to do that. But yeah, it will definitely bring me full commercial at that point. We're still touring nationally, a little bit here and there, but we're playing a lot in the South, a lot in Florida. Um, you know, for any of the listeners, if you've got a venue that you'd like to see us come to, whether you've seen a show or haven't seen a show before, jump on our website, jazzcollins.com, shoot me a message and say, hey, we want you to play here. It's even better if you happen to know the contact to the booker there, and I'll have my team reach out to them. We'd love to come and perform for you out there.
All right. I'll have the links, all the links to Chad's website, and check out the videos. Check out No Place I'd Rather Be. Check out Slam Bam. I'm looking forward to This Bar Sucks. It's all going to be good. Kudos to you. Thanks for being a pro. Chaz, thank you, buddy, and good luck.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, man. And if anyone wants to connect with us on socials, Chaz Collins Music on the socials, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. It keeps you up to date with everything. Don't forget to join our email list at chazcollins.com. And we hope to do this with you again, man. Thank you.